Hello, welcome to another exciting edition of United and Everything Football Podcast. I'm here with Kwame Nchubuesiako, and we are joined by another good friend of ours, Yao Frimpong. He's a big man. He runs football in Ghana. He does a lot of things. The other ones I don't want to say it for obvious reasons. So yeah, I should shelve it, right?
Yeah.
It's great to have you. Great to have you on the podcast, Yao. Great to have you.
It's a great pleasure. I've been looking forward to this since you told me.
Yes. It's finally good to have you. Kwame, how are you doing?
Great as always.
Great as always. Looking forward to the game.
Of course. Revenge. It's time for vengeance.
Be careful. Be careful what you wish for.
No. It's time we have to put Palace back in their place. They've been a thorn in our flesh for quite some time.
Yes. All right. So if this is your first time, as always, remember, subscribe to the channel. Just do it. Subscribe to United and Everything Football. Let's grow the community together. Please remember to leave a comment. As usual, I'll be reading the comments that you left to us at the end, before the end of the show. At the end. So please remember to listen. The comments that you left with us, I'll be sharing them here on the channel. So as usual, I'll make a quick turnaround. When I come back, I'll get to my guests. There's news around the club about the players that are returning, some good news around the club. We'll be sharing that with you. And maybe we'll chip in a bit on the stadium redevelopment. It just got to my mind. It wasn't originally part, but we'll try and see if maybe we can share a few things on it. We'll see how it goes. So let's take a quick turnaround. When we come back, we discuss everything here on United and Everything Football. All right, thank you very much. This is United and Everything Football. So my guys are here, but remember, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. We need you to take us to 2,000. We are almost there. So if you've not subscribed, please remember, let's hit the 2,000K mark. Yeah, I'll start with you. What went through your mind when Palace were ripping us 4-0 in that game at the Selhurst Park? What was going through your mind?
I think, last year I predicted that Erik ten Hag would be out of the job by December. It didn't happen. So I was like, okay, that is the final nail in the coffin for me. But then it didn't happen. I think United just disappointed everyone that day. I thought they could make something of the match, but Olise was a different player that day. And he really ripped us apart. And that was the difference for that match in particular. And, football is always about chances. When you get that one opportunity, you're supposed to convert it. And when you don't do that, it always comes back to bite you in the bum.
Well, that's what happens. Kwame, if you remember, if you read the news around that game, I was talking about the game being the nail on the coffin. Nathan was with us on that right after that game, and he felt that was the end for Erik ten Hag. Truth be told, that was when Ineos decided to convene a meeting and then find the replacement for Erik ten Hag. But some way, somehow, he managed to escape that after winning the FA Cup. What was going through your mind at that time, Kwame? Did you also get to that point where you felt, Eric, this is the end of the road for you?
If you do remember, I never ever got there. I always said it was always about the FA Cup at that point. At that point, I'd given up on the league, if you do remember.
Yes.
Clearly given up on the league. But to go there and look so sorry, look so terrible. Casemiro was at it again.
Yeah.
That very night. It was just, one could easily have said, that was the time to pull the plug. But he made it to the end of the season. He got the most important results.
Yes.
He's still here. He's still here. For those who are disappointed, he's still here.
Anyway, all right. Erik ten Hag is still here. But when he was asked today, he had the press conference where he was asked about the game. He said these are different times. He's not going out for any revenge. It's a different game altogether. He said that he mentioned about one key thing in this press conference where he talked about Russian players back, because we didn't have players, if you remember. It was Casemiro and Johnny Evans that were in, and this time around we have players coming back from injury. And Erik ten Hag has said that he's not going to rush Rasmus Højlund and Mason Mount in this game. But yeah, let's look at the game. Let's look at what has happened in the last two games. The game against Southampton, the game against Barnsley.
Yeah.
10 goals scored, 0 goals conceded. How much of confidence does it give this team going into this?
It gives you such confidence because you've gone away, you scored more than 2 goals, you didn't concede, you played at home, you scored 7 goals, albeit being against Barnsley, and you still managed to keep a clean sheet. Yeah. And the key thing is the team was a bit rotated for the second fixture against Barnsley, but then the clearance or the clarity in the way United wanted to play was evident. That was the most important thing, and you could tell United would rush certain opportunities 2 or 3 games ago or last season, but this time around there's some sort of system, and we can see signs that look, the players that United have brought in have added some quality. Majority to be specific, makes it a lot easier for them to play. There's just this confidence, and the most important thing for United is that Rashford was back in the goals as well.
Yeah,
seeing how he's managed to rediscover some form. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. As you go forward, once you get in the goals, you get that confidence, and United would certainly be happy to be facing Palace at this time, where they've seen the methods of the coach working.
Yeah.
You would be given confidence that, look, this time around, it can't happen like last time. And we've got a full set of defenders. Yeah. People comfortable playing left back, people comfortable playing right back. We've got centre backs available as well. And then in the middle as well, you've got a new signing in Ugarte, you've got Casemiro, you've got Kobe Mainoo. Yeah. You've got enough quality all over the pitch now.
Yeah.
So there's confidence in terms of personnel, and there's confidence in terms of clarity in the way United wants to play. And that's the confidence they need right now.
Kwame, Yao has broken down a lot of the things with regards to the confidence. So should I let you go?
Perfectly.
You can leave.
I should probably just leave. I should pack myself a book. Nothing more to say.
Nothing more to add, right? But let's look at it this way. I have a concern. My concern has been the way we've been starting games. Fulham, we didn't start great, if you remember. Fulham had some early chances. Brighton, it was we were a bit on top, but it wasn't like we were creating sharp chances. Against Liverpool, we have absolutely nothing to talk about. Southampton, the first 30 minutes, I told you, if I'm going to rewatch that game, I'll cut that 30 minutes off and watch the rest of the 60 minutes. So the concern has been the start and what sort of impact it has on the way we want to play. What do you make of it, and what should be the approach going into this game?
It's a mentality thing, isn't it? I just think it all hasn't come together for United under Erik ten Hag. There's always something. It's either that we're not consistent enough during games, or we're not consistent enough for a stretch of games, or we are simply inconsistent at everything.
Yeah.
You are hoping that we are going to get to a point where it all comes together. We have to start games faster. We have to start games better. We all know this. I'm sure he knows this. I'm sure he talks about it every single time.
Yeah.
But these players get onto the football pitch, and for some reason, they simply don't get out of the blocks quick enough.
Yeah.
But let's just hope as games go by, we get better at what we need to do correctly. I see we've been to Selhurst Park on a number of occasions in the Premier League era. It's not a ground where we usually struggle, but of late, I think
in the last 3 games,
we've not actually.
Ralph Rangnick in the final game, Erik ten Hag, that Olise 1-1, and then
the last minute,
the 4-0,
the 4-0. So it's about time we restored things back to normal order. We need to avenge what happened last season. I think we'll go there with a chip on our shoulder, knowing that we went there last season and got absolutely annihilated. And let's look at it from another angle. It's not the same Palace team that we faced last season.
Right.
There's no new manager bounce from this coach. The squad isn't the same. they've lost a couple of key players from the team. I don't think they've won a game.
They've not won a Premier League game yet.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we shouldn't go there having anything to be afraid of, but then with the simple mindset of actually going in there and making sure that we right the wrongs over the last season and for the past 3 seasons and get 3 points. It's all about momentum. It's all about momentum. You see, we've not been. I put up this stats on our Twitter handle where we've literally become a cup team over the past 11 years. Eric Ten Hag has a 90% success rate when it comes to domestic cup competitions. And what is very, very stark is that when you look at his league record, his win percentage in the league is around 53.7%. Ironically, it's the same as Jose Mourinho's. You look at the 2 managers prior to Jose Mourinho and Eric Ten Hag, that's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it's down to like 51.something%. Same as that of Louis van Gaal. We are simply in the 51-52% win rate brackets, and that is simply not good enough to challenge the title. One may say it's not even good enough to establish a top 4 spot. That's how come we seem to go up and down. One season we qualify for the Champions League, another season we don't. If you want to know what the record is in terms of what you need to be achieving to be able to oust Pep Guardiola as champions of England, he's winning games at a 74% win rate. 74%, ridiculous.
Yeah.
You have to be almost perfect to be able to, win the title.
Yeah.
When Ferguson used to win titles, it was at a 65% win rate. That was the piece.
Yeah.
Pep Guardiola has upped the notch a bit, right? So if you are operating at 52% on average over the past 11 years, that goes for every single manager at this football club over the past 11 years. You are nowhere close to challenging. You're probably nowhere close to saying to yourself, you know what, top 4 is almost a guarantee. It's not a given. It's not a given for us anymore. It's not. So we need something must change.
Yeah. And
it must change in the league. I'm not concerned about cups. Eric Ten Hag seems to be a cup guy because he knows the cups will keep him in the job. Sort of buys him the time, But then it gets to a point where you have to say to yourself, we have to make some form of progress. And progress, the only way you can measure progress is being consistent in the league. It's a fact. The trophies are nice. They're great for us. We would make all the noise about it and be happy about it because even for a while we hadn't won trophies. It's fun. It's great for fans. But you realize that the team isn't progressing as it should. The only way we can know this is if we establish some form of consistency when it comes to league action. It's 2 wins in the league this season, 2 losses. We've already shown that we are what we were. We've not changed. It's 50%. You see, that's the thing. It's 50%. It's already 50%. We are still the same. Nothing has changed over the past 11 years already in the league. Although, I'll bet the fact that the sample size is small.
Yeah.
You don't want to go into the next league game and it sort of buttresses the points we are making already by losing or drawing, and then we are still where we are. We're like, oh god. So when are things actually going to change?
Yeah.
So go in there and tilt the scale a bit. Tilt it. We win that game, and I think we've gone to like 66.6777.
And we keep going.
We keep going. We keep going from there. And another stat, the last stat I'll throw in there before we probably move on to the next topic is Eric Ten Hag's win ratio ever since he came to Manchester United. It's now standing at 59.67%. He wins this game, and it takes him to 60%. 6-0. Any manager who is operating at 60% win rate is doing quite a decent job. I'll bet the fact that is sort of skewed by the fact that his cap runs is almost like 100%.
Yes.
But it shows that he is doing a very good job because no manager has managed that win percentage since Sir Alex Ferguson left. But then he has to build on that, especially in the league. This season, I read we watch the league.
Yeah.
We know we win a cup. We know we win a cup. Everybody knows we win a cup.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be enough this season. Simply wouldn't cut it. It's just like, you're just using a trick. You're sprinkling some dust over our ice, and then the real issue is still there. So league action, league form has to improve.
Yeah, what do you make of the stats and other things that Kwame has put together? I mean, on the kind of form, yeah.
Well, really, it is the truth. He's masking his failures in the league with perfect cup runs, and well, for certain fans, they'll be happy with a cup. They don't care if it's domestic, it's continental. As long as there's a cup to celebrate at the end of the season, they're okay. Yeah. But with Man United, Man United don't settle for winning some Mickey Mouse Cup and being comfortable. You do that at the beginning of your reign if you just want to get your fans on your side, and then you move a step forward. Maybe you do a domestic double. You move another step forward. Then you win the league. There has to be signs of progress, and United haven't shown that in the league since Ten Hag came in there. We look at Mourinho's era, and you can say there was progress in the sense that United got close to winning the league.
Yeah.
You can say what you want to say.
Let's say got close to challenging because the points gap was 19 points.
Points gap was
you don't say you got close to winning the league when you were 20 points behind.
I say you got close because you were the only club that was close enough. In my book, that is close enough.
And
second
guess what?
place, you done
Pep finished that season with 100 points.
So like Kwame said, Pep was near perfect.
Yes.
You have to be near perfect if you want to challenge him. He's been on the league back to back for 4 years. You have to show something this year, and I believe United know that's the way to go. If they don't get things right this year, I don't know if we'll win Europa League, we'll win FA Cup, we'll win Carabao Cup. Maybe that's what might keep Ten Hag in the job. But there has to be clear signs of progress this season, and it has to start from the league. Fixtures like Crystal Palace, fixtures like Everton. You don't have to drop points against the smaller sides. You need to make a good statement, and you close the gap with the big four, big six.
Correct.
It's as simple as that. And so it just has to continue.
Yeah.
Last year we saw progress.
Yeah.
And to be honest, he's had all the support that he wants. I want a defender. So basically now he's got a back five. That is his preferred back five to an extent. And they play the way he wants to. They understand the way he wants United to play. So he's really not got any more excuses. So he just needs to keep moving forward. And that means showing better consistency in the league. If United are second, they lose the league by some 10 points or 15 points. As long as it's not 19 points, that is progress. That is progress.
Yes.
But beyond that, look, United have to show that they've learned something from last season, and that has to show in the league. We've seen what you can do in the cup.
Yeah.
No one's faulting you there. But if you show better form in the league, then we know United is progressing. So really, Ten Hag knows what he has to do, and he's got all the backing he needs. All the backing he needs. And he's even got Ruud van Nistelrooy to help him now, so he's not getting any excuses.
Yes, no excuses for Eric Ten Hag. If there is one thing United fans are united on now, is that Ten Hag has no excuse. Any fan you speak to knows that he has absolutely no excuse whatsoever to think that things are not matching up the way he'd want things to match up. So it's very, very important that we get to appreciate that. But let's close it up with a game on what should be the preferred lineup, because there are some players coming back, and the preferred approach, the preferred lineup. There are some players coming back. Rasmus Højlund is back, and Mason Mount has also returned. Depending on, Eric says they will assess them in the last training session, which is tomorrow, or if you are watching tomorrow, it's Friday. You are watching on Friday. The last training session where they would make a decision as to whether these players are fit enough to either start or be part of the bench. Kwame, they said they are not rushing players anymore. They are taking their time with regards to the injury situation and all of that.
Yeah.
Tie that into what sort of team we should put out there.
That's what quality squad depth does to you. When you have options, you don't necessarily have to rush players back. We did that a lot last season for a couple of reasons. The depth and quality wasn't there, and then we had a raft of injuries. Certain players had to come and play when they weren't supposed to be playing, and they never ever were able to give 100% anyway. I always I find it hard to say this, but I'm going to say it. I admire Harry Maguire for actually putting his body on the line for the club last season at the expense of an European place last season. I'm not the biggest fan of Harry Maguire, but he sacrificed for us because of this very same reason, being rushed back, being played through injuries, not even training. And at the end of the day, it cost him a place at the Euros. Almost cost him England actually winning an Euros title. That's what I'm trying to say. And you look at that and you say to yourself, you don't want such things happening again. I say probably that's the reason why Harry Maguire is still at the club. That sacrifice alone puts him back into the good books of everybody at the club. We don't want to do that again this season. What I do expect is, I still think Mount and Højlund would make the squad, but I don't expect them to come anywhere close to the starting 11. They'll probably get a better run in the midweek game against FC20, and then we'll probably have a stronger squad against Spurs. But the starting 11, it's quite debatable, isn't it? There are a few positions that are sort of cemented. We know which back four, back five, as you put it, is going to play. It's Onana, it's going to be Matthijs de Ligt, and Lisandro Martinez at the heart of defense, and Diogo Dalot at left back, and Mazraoui at right back.
Any surprises in the middle? Like he pulled one on us. That's
the thing. Is Ugarte going to get a start? We are not really sure. So it's just down to what we prefer as individually as fans, what we'll prefer. What I prefer is a midfield of Ugarte and Casemiro.
Okay.
Many people would say, why not Kobbie Mainoo? I don't think Kobbie Mainoo has started the season the way he should. And I feel there is a reason for that. He's played a lot of football since January. A lot. For a player of his age, he's played a lot of football. For United and for England. And he's barely had any rest. And I think it's showing. Some way, somehow, we have to manage this kid. And I think Casemiro has a chip on his shoulder going back into that Crystal Palace game, having a point to prove, and he did play very, very well in a slightly different position compared to what he started the season with, which was more of like an 8 role compared to a 6, and Ugarte sitting. I think that offers us some sort of solidity against that Crystal Palace midfield, which is kind of tight with Watson and all those boys in the middle there. It's right in front of them. You don't want them to have the freedom of the park in the middle. So I feel playing 2 defensive-minded players gives us some solidity in the middle of the park, and then it frees up Bruno Fernandes to join the front 3. The front 3, it's definitely going to be Ahmad on the right. Definitely going to be Zexi up in the middle, and Rashford is back on form, so it's no longer the matter of debate whether Marcus Rashford should not start. No, let's stop that nonsense. It's done. Marcus Rashford starts, and Garnacho impacts the game off the bench. We have something off the bench to impact the game. That's a great start 11, in my opinion. Don't know what Yao thinks, especially when it comes to that midfield.
Yeah. What do you think? Well, we have about 5 minutes to go, so yeah.
I can't help but agree completely with what Kwame said. United back 5 is set in stone, really. Unless Luke Shaw, Malacia
miraculously comes back from somewhere.
Exactly. The back 5 is really, really settled. Maguire could come in if there's a need for him to come in. But in the middle, like Kwame was saying, you're facing the team that might have Jefferson Lerma, might have Adam Wharton, might have Will Hughes, might have Kamada in there. They would try their best to make it as compact as possible. So you need intelligent players in there. And you need people that would put themselves about. Kobbie Mainoo has played a lot of football. He needs that rest. You could tell against Liverpool. You could tell against Southampton. You could just tell he's off the pace because he's tired. Too much football. And he needs to just be introduced into games when we're seeing it out just get a couple of minutes in there. By November, he should be back to the form that we're expecting of him. But you want people that can have the awareness to cover their fullbacks. So you want Ugarte, you want Casemiro, and you'll find that in a game like this, Eriksen, as much as he played so well against Barnsley, would be a liability because
they're way off it.
They would just zoom past him.
Yeah,
because he's not the quickest player anymore. He's not been the quickest player. But then once he's playing as your number 6, people would find ways to just zoom past him. So once there's Casemiro, there's Ugarte, there's one person that's always going to stay, that's going to cover either fullback or in the middle, and that could be Ugarte. And Casemiro and Bruno tend to understand themselves. Just playing as 2 number 8s or 8 and 10s works for United because of the striker they're using, Xerxes, who can drop in deep and allow them to go beyond him. And then on the right as well, Amad Diallo, no doubt, he's starting. He's quite comfortable. He's comfortably United's best right winger at the moment. And on the left, Marcus Rashford has found his form. He needs to start. He needs to right the wrongs. And I think he will keep the run going. I think he'll score again against Palace. So United seem to have the team set already. Pretty much the team that played against, except the one change, Ugarte and Casemiro starting together. But that is the team that United need if they're to get maximum points at Palace.
All right. Thank you guys for the analysis and the teams that you've put out. Please drop your team down in the comment section. Let's see what you think about that. So let me quickly run through some of the messages you dropped in the comment section in the last episode. Nanaya said, small, Rashi is coming. It says small, smile is coming from Rashi. Yeah, Rashi is smiling now. Someone says, Kwame, please bring back Nathan. Yeah, we'll bring back Nathan. Don't worry. Goals change games. This from Amuzu. He says that goals change games. Our last 2 games haven't seen us play the best brand of football, especially in the first half. The difference between our last 2 games and the previous games of the season is the forwards being clinical. Now they need to continue with this, and then once the confidence starts running through the entire team, Ten Hag then has the peace of mind to instill his style properly. We will eat good this season. That's a very hopeful United fan. Kwabi says that in Hag's first season, we played Spurs. We didn't concede a shot on target. I think it was a point where we said that we had not considered it. I don't remember the last time we played the whole game and we didn't concede a shot on target. That Spurs game was that, according to Kwabi. Great analysis, guys. Thank you very much. That's from Gabriel Frimpong. Anyone notice when United wins the hellos in the introduction? Plenty, Agasa. It's true. I see a lot of hellos in there. We pray for more wins so that the hellos will be more. Anyway, Nana Dankwa says, I think it was good. It was a good win for United. One thing that will help us is the team rotation and chemistry among the players, meaning we can rely on whoever plays. That's a good comment. Edmond Opoku says it's all about teamwork, not individual brilliance. Savage Scary says that hoping, it's a long message, says that hoping with Ugarte, the too much space between the defense and midfield will be resolved. We have struggled with that for like 2 seasons. Opponents line breaking passes, cutting through our midfield. So we hope that Ugarte solves that. So that's what he is saying. Say that Mark Moses says that if we will take notes, Garnacho is no longer playing for himself. He's learned quickly and it is now about teamwork. Someone says that beginning to look like Rashford of Ten Hag's first season. Yeah, we hope so. Elvis says, I hope these players will be ready to play according to the template of the coach has designed and the coach has designed consistently, and they will be very good in transitions and kill games off. Someone says that I'm impressed with Rashford. My goat is back. Waiting for Palace, Tottenham and Porto games. Sure. Why are you not recognizing that we scored 5 without Bruno? Hey, you people happy to see Bayern there in post and also Rashford scoring again.
I'm waiting for one comment. The one on don't give me hope. You have to look for that comment.
Don't give me hope. Don't give me hope according to someone. Charlie, our time is up. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much, Alfred Paul. Thank you very much, Kwame. drop your subscription and everything. Have a great time. See you on the next one. Bye bye.